I might just I might archive it and then just reopen it every now and again and just like have a
Yeah,
little look.
just like a little weekly challenge, little
Yeah.
check-in. But yeah, it's been really good. If you guys have seen Jay in previous weeks, you know he's absolutely awesome. What are you going to be talking about today, Jay? James?
Um,
Jamie?
James, what are you going to be talking about today, James? Well, you'll find out in a minute, mate. Basically, just want to give people a slightly different way of looking at what they're facing at the moment and the challenges that they're facing. Just maybe inspire people to just change a slight variation in the way they're seeing things, which can have quite a big effect on things longer term. So, based on some 2,000-year-old quotes. In fact, one 2,000-year-old quote, which which I'm going to build on and give a bit of context to in the current climate. So hopefully it'll give people some food for thought and help them see things a little bit differently, maybe.
Awesome. That sounds great. Cool. So we'll hand over to you. Hello to everyone again. Welcome to the virtual pub, and this is Jay Unwin.
Cheers, mate. Okay, guys. Thank you, Luca, for introducing me, and thank you again to everyone at the virtual pub for inviting me back on, and indeed for inviting me on to do a regular slot on Thursday afternoons, the old isolation motivation. I don't know which of you guys came up with that, but that's a mint title, so thank you for that. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some stuff about how to reframe the way you're seeing the challenges you might be facing at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a little quote for you. Now, this quote is 2,000 years old. All right, this quote is from 2,000 years ago, so way before anything that we're currently facing, completely different era. And I'm just going to share it with you to start with, and then we're going to build a little bit of modern day context around it. So the quote is this, and it's from a dude called Epictetus, who was a philosopher back in ancient Rome. In fact, just a bit of background on him. He was born into slavery, and just shortly after Emperor Nero died, he got his freedom, and then he went on. He'd already been studying philosophy as a slave, and he went on to become a philosopher and teaching philosophy in Rome for 25 years. So anyway, this is his quote that I wanted to base this on. The true man or woman, let's say it's 2020 now, all right? So yes, this is 2,000 years ago. He said the true man or woman is revealed in difficult times. So when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler whom God, like a trainer, has paired you with a tough young buck. For what purpose? To turn you into Olympic class material. All right. So quite an old school quote, but it's written in a way translated in a way which is very, very real and very visual and very visceral. So again, I'm just going to repeat that again. Then I'm going to do introduce myself and what I do. But just to give you a little bit of something to think about as I do that, again, this quote, the true man or woman is revealed in difficult times. So when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler whom God, like a trainer, has paired you with a tough young buck. For what purpose? To turn you into Olympic class material. So my name's Jay Unwin, and I help people level up their mental and physical fitness by upgrading their daily habits and daily routines. Seeing a couple of these comments coming on. Hey, Sam. Hey, John. So yeah, what I do, like Luca said, if you caught Luca's little introduction at the beginning, he's been working with me this week doing a 5-day challenge. And what we're doing is we're working on habits and routines, daily habits and routines, taking control of these little things to give people a bit more structure and to improve their physical fitness, but also their mental fitness. What I mean by physical and mental fitness is your ability to cope with and recover from stress. Anyone who's seen my previous videos, my previous masterclasses will know this definition already. Your ability to cope with and recover from stress. So your physical fitness is your ability to cope with and recover from physical stress, right? It's your ability to go through some kind of physical ordeal, cope with it and recover from it. Your mental fitness is the same thing, but on the mental side of things. It's your ability to go through a mental ordeal, an emotional ordeal, and to deal with it, to cope with it, and then recover from it afterwards. That's what your physical and mental fitness is. And so what I'm going to be doing with you over the coming weeks is just sharing some stuff. And I think I might do this structure each time. I might take a quote, a classical philosophical ancient Greek philosophy quote, and build some modern day context to it, given the challenges we're facing. So with that, I want to give you a little disclaimer as well. I understand that shit is hard. Okay. There's a lot of stuff that you guys might be dealing with that you could be sat there saying, oh, it's all well and good for you saying, oh, it's, think differently and all this motivation bullshit and all of that kind of stuff, right? I get it. But like, you've got stuff going on, stuff that is really tricky to deal with. Perhaps you're struggling with, before all this, you were just struggling with depression or anxiety or any number of different things, and this has just made it worse. Now, I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm not taking anything away from the situation that we're in and how serious it is and how it can really kind of stir up that anxiety and stir up that depression. Okay, if that's the case, like, honestly, I feel for you, and I've been there and I get it. I've suffered really badly with depression and anxiety. I understand that it's not as easy as just going, just think positively, and that's why I don't say that stuff, because I know that it's hard. What I am saying, though, is that we still have a choice. No matter how hard it is, we still have some control. We still have some things that we can make choices about. We can't choose to not be anxious. We can't choose to not be depressed, but we can choose small things which can give us a better handle on the situation. I've just seen a little comment come up down at the bottom from the guys at the virtual pub saying, feel free to ask any questions. And then a lovely thing about me. Thanks. Yeah, ask any questions. Give me some likes, give me some love hearts as well, and share this around. Tag some friends. Hey Taylor, tag friends in the comments and all of that good stuff as well. Okay, because I want this to reach a lot of people, because I really want people to just have something uplifting. I really want people to have something practical that they can change the way they're seeing things, the way they're dealing with things, so that they can get through this better. They can survive this better. They can even maybe thrive in certain ways through this challenging time. So share it around, tag people in the comments, send me some questions and bits and pieces like that. Okay, so we still have a choice. We still have a choice is what I was getting at. And it doesn't matter how small the things that we might be able to make choices about. We need to hold on to that control, because we're in a chaotic universe, right? The universe is absolute chaos. Anyone who tells you that the universe gives a shit about you is absolutely barking up the wrong tree. Anyone who tells you that you can manifest stuff in your life just by thinking about it and tuning into the universe and all that kind of stuff, no, I don't buy it, right? The universe is absolute chaos. It is absolute chaos. We have zero control over our surroundings. The only things that we have control over is our own decisions, our own actions, our own choices. Okay? I get it that some people would disagree with me on that, and that's cool. I'm not here to change anyone's mind on that. Okay, we've all got our own beliefs. Some people have belief in, the universe. Some people have a belief in a God who answers prayers and all that stuff. That's cool. I respect that. For me, I just don't buy it, right? What I buy is that you can control only your choices, your actions, your behaviors. We did not choose this crisis. We did not manifest this crisis. This happened as an absolute chaotic event in nature, and we are now having to deal with that. So we don't have control over that, but we do have control over our response. And that comes back to this quote again, just to remind you, for those just joining, the quote that this is based on, the Epictetus quote from about 2,000 years ago. The true man or woman, adding that bit in, is revealed in difficult times. So when trouble comes, right, which it has, okay, so it's very relevant, think of yourself as a wrestler whom God, like a trainer, has paired you with a tough young buck. For what purpose? To turn you into Olympic class material. So looking back at that, we're talking about God. If you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in whatever has caused this, for me, it's just a case of just chaos. It's just chance. It's just what has happened. But if you believe in fate, if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe and a higher power, anything like that, that's cool. This still works, right? Because this is something that has happened, right? And it could be God's will, whatever. It doesn't matter. Think of yourself as a wrestler, and whatever higher power you believe in has paired you with this challenge in order to turn you into Olympic class material, because that's what challenges do. That is their outcome always. The way I like to talk about it in terms of fitness, is, so those of you who saw my first one, my background's in health and fitness. I've been in the health and fitness industry for nearly 10 years. And in health and fitness, in the gym, if you don't challenge yourself, you don't grow. There's a lot of stuff that is scary going on right now. We're in difficult times. We've been paired with a seriously hardcore wrestler. We are sparring with a very, very tough opponent. But that's how we get better. Anyone who has ever played a sport of any kind, let's use combat sports as an example. If you've done martial arts, if you've done boxing, if you've done wrestling, you don't get better by sparring with someone who isn't as tough as you. You don't get better by even sparring with someone who is the same as you. You only get better by challenging yourself and stepping into the ring with someone who is going to push you. And it goes for the same thing with experiences. You only grow, you only get better, you only move forward if you step into the ring with things which challenge you. If you step into the ring with things you find easy, nothing's going to happen. If you step into the ring with things which will punish you, then you become stronger. You find out ways to do things that you didn't know before. You learn about yourself. You learn about how to live. And that's not to say that we need to go in search of needless challenges and put ourselves through pain unnecessarily. But it does mean that when challenges present themselves, that we can see that opportunity. We can see the opportunity to get stronger. We can see the opportunity to get through something, learn from it, learn about ourselves, and become tougher. Your reality is your perception. Okay, reality is perception. Your reality is different from my reality. And my reality is different from the next person's reality, because it is all about perception. The facts are the facts, but we then add meaning to those facts. We add to those facts our baggage, our experiences, the goggles through which we see the world, which are all based on what's happened throughout our lives. So your experience is different to mine, which is different to the next person's, and therefore your reality is different to mine, is different to the next person's. The facts remain the same, but the perception that we have becomes what our reality is. Now, the great thing about that is, although we can't change the facts, we can't change the facts of what's going on in the world. We can't change the infection rates of a virus. We can't change the existence of the virus. We can't change the mortality rate. What we can change, those are facts, those are numbers, those are things which are happening. However, our perception of that can change. And if we choose to see challenges as opportunities, if we choose to see these things as yes, this is tough, and you go, right, okay, this is hard, this is difficult, I'm now in the ring getting my head kicked in. However, what can I learn from this? How am I going to get out of this? What's the opportunity here? If you've ever, again, just another analogy, I know there's going to be musicians watching this, because hopefully Luke is still watching, so Luke will know. You don't get better by jamming with people who aren't as good as you. You don't get better at an instrument by jamming with people who are the same as you even. Where you progress, where you enhance your skills is by stepping up and jamming with musicians who are better than you. Musicians who run rings around you, who make you look like a tit. That's where you start learning new skills. That's where you start being able to hold your own. So what meaning, right, so facts are facts, but we add meaning to it. And so what meaning are you going to add to this? Because that's a choice. Yes, there's baggage which we can't help. There's baggage from our past which is going to affect how we see things. However, there is still a part of it which is choice. There always is, for every single person watching this. It depends on the scale of the choice, will vary from person to person, but there is always a choice. So what meaning are you going to choose to give this circumstance? The facts are the facts for everyone, but what meaning are you going to choose to give this? What meaning are you going to choose to add? What one decision can you make now? What one decision can you make now to take some control over the things you can control? You're in the midst, you're in the ring, you're getting your head kicked in. What is the one thing you can do right now to move forward, to learn, to grow, to fight back? There's stuff outside your control, there's stuff within your control. What can you decide to do right now? Have a think about that, because there will be something, all of you may have been avoiding it. You may have been thinking about doing a certain thing, but you haven't done it. You may not have thought about this at all, but somewhere up there will be an idea of something that you know you can take control of. Last week, I talked about morning routine. Last week, I talked about taking control of what time you get up in the morning, what you do when you get up. You have always got control over those things. You've got control over whether you stay up late drinking every night because you haven't got work, or whether you set yourself a time where you go, screen's going off at this time, I'm going to bed, I'm going to get a full night of restorative sleep so I can feel good tomorrow, rather than the cycle repeating. You have that choice. What choice are you going to make? What meaning are you going to add to this circumstance? What meaning are you going to add to these facts? What choice can you make today? What behavior can you choose to do today which is going to move you forward, that's going to put you in a better position, that's going to get you out of the corner of the ring where you're getting completely slammed, and put you in a stronger position where you can take a bit more control of your life? Have a think about that. Let me know in the comments if you want to. If it's private, if it's something that you don't want to share, that's cool. I get it. Feel free to message me. Feel free to connect with me elsewhere. I'd love to hear these things, but if it's private to you, that's cool. But write it down. Write it down in a journal. Write it down on a notebook. Write down what you can take control of. What is within your control? We don't grow when we have things easy. Just to recap that, we don't grow when we have things easy. Challenges are what make us. Challenges are what push us to really develop that strength, that toughness, that resilience, which will carry us through future challenges. Because this isn't going to be the last time you're challenged in life. This isn't going to be the last time that you face some kind of adversity. And that's cool. That's okay. We don't want a life that's free of challenge. Because if we have a life that's free of challenge, we've got a life that's free of growth. We've got a life that's free of seeing what we're able to do. It's a life that's free of learning. It's barely a life at all. We require adversity. We require stress in order to move forward, in order to develop. We evolved as humans in harsh environments. We evolved as humans we're the most adaptable species on the planet. Yes, we're perhaps not the most in tune with nature on the planet, but we are the most adaptable species on the planet, which is why we've dominated every climate, every continent, because we can adapt from deserts, plains, tundra, Arctic, Antarctic. We can go anywhere because we adapt. And the way we adapt is by putting ourselves through challenges. The way we adapt is by going through those periods of adversity, learning and becoming better and stronger for the next time. And there will be a next time. There will be another challenge. There always is. Life is a constant mixture of challenges and opportunities. It will go on like that. It's not going to be, once coronavirus is over and done with, life is cushy until you pop your clogs. Okay, there are going to be challenges. There will. And we need to be ready for that. We need to use the opportunities that present to us to be able to get stronger, to be able to get tougher, so that we can not only get through the challenges in the future, but we can help others get through those challenges in the future as well. The more we learn now, the more we can pass on those lessons to people who might need them. I've never met a strong person who's had an easy past. Never. Not once. Have you? Have you met someone who's strong that you admire, that's had an easy life? You met someone who's never faced a challenge in their life, and you go, wow, they're amazing. No, it doesn't happen. The people that you respect, the people that you admire, the people that you think, wow, they're tough. They've always overcome something. They've always overcome adversity. And the more adversity they've overcome, the more you sit back and you go, fair play. That's incredible. That's amazing. They're going to be strong. They're going to be tough. They've done something worth doing. Someone who's had it easy all their life, there isn't that. There isn't that. They've never had to develop those skills, that toughness, that resilience. And as soon as they're put in a position where they do face that, they flounder because they've never had the opportunity to develop those skills. So this is a blessing in a really roundabout, horrible way. It's a present, a gift wrapped up in really ugly wrapping paper. It's a gift that we don't see it on the outside because it's nasty and there's some horrible stuff going on with it. But for us individually, if we get out the other side of this, when we get out the other side of this, we're going to look back and go, I tell you what, I'm better for it. I'm stronger for it. I've got my priorities in order, which I didn't have before. I'm less caught up with all the crap that I thought was important before, and now I know what's really important. We've got the opportunity to change a whole priorities list. We've got the opportunity to really see what's important. Everyone I've spoken to has said that one thing that they really miss more than anything is human connection, human interaction, face-to-face, hugs. How many of us took that for granted before? It's an opportunity to get stronger, to get tougher, and to get back in line with what's really important to us. So one last time, the quote that this was based on from Epictetus, Stoic philosopher from 2,000 years ago: the true man or woman is revealed in difficult times. So when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler whom God, like a trainer, has paired you with a tough young buck. For what purpose? To turn you into Olympic class material. Back to you, Luca.
Mate, what a quote.
It's a good quote, isn't it?
What a quote. The whole thing was amazing, man. I really like the part where you got a bit of feedback. Your volume quite loud on your. I can hear myself quite savagely.
Or mine?
Yeah, could you take the volume down a touch?
Is that any better?
I believe so. That's weird. What about now? Weird feedback. We'll carry on anyway. But yeah, it was great how you were saying, and this is sort of how I've been viewing the whole thing, is from 3 weeks ago when we first went into lockdown, is taking this, I think we spoke to you about it, taking this massive negative space, what feels like big pressure on our lives, and trying to turn it into a positive and, pushing forward. And I think that quote couldn't be any better, really, or more relevant to what's going on right now. You either sit back and worry and think that life will be hunky-dory after, but life will continue. And I think now is a time to reflect. And I know some of us, the majority of us, aren't working anymore, so I'm taking the time to reflect on who I am and to make as big of a change to move forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or the changes that I've always wanted to make.
Yeah, and it's that thing where we've all got stuff to cope with. I guess the thing, like you said, it's not going to be all hunky dory after, like we were saying. But if you think that quote was from 2,000 years ago, right? They had it way harder then. This was from a dude who was born into slavery in the Roman Empire, right? We've got Netflix.
Yeah.
We've got fucking Netflix. Like, it's not that hard to stay in our house. We're not being put out to labour for free. We're fairly comfortable, relatively speaking, right? Not to take it away that people are feeling anxious. It's valid. People are feeling worried. You can't feel worried in the middle of a global pandemic. When the hell can you feel worried, right? I get it. I feel worried. I feel anxious. I wake up some days and I'm just like, is this really still happening? Like, it's just, it's unreal. But it's not as bad as, we've had challenges. That quote was right from 2,000 years ago. From the 6,000 years we have of written human history, there have been constant challenges. That isn't about to change. There've been constant wars and famines and everything, right? That isn't going to change. We need to get used to it. We need to get used to challenge, and we need to start going, well, you know what? If this is what life's going to be like, if life is constantly going to be battles, which it is, then I need to toughen up.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm having mad issues with my mic here. I tried to decipher what you were saying. It was going mental in my ears. But yeah, I can't seem to sort it. It's driving me mad. But yeah, totally. There is always going to be challenges. And Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say.
So good.
So we'll leave it at that. I put your page up on the comments for people to give you a message about any advice. I'd highly advise that you follow Jay's page. Like I said, I've been following his weekly challenge. We're on day 5 now, and it's been absolutely day 4. It feels like we've been doing it for months, but in a great way. It's been really beneficial, and I couldn't recommend Jay anymore. And it's really good to have you part of the team, man.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Awesome. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for tuning in. We've been the Virtual Pub. Send some love for Jay, and we'll see you at the same time next week. Cheers.
Cheers.